My name is Theresa Becchetti, and I'm the Livestock Advisor for Stanislaus and San Joaquin Counties, working with the University of California Cooperative Extension. Today we have a Beef Quality Assurance meeting here in Oakdale, and Beef Quality Assurance started roughly in the early 90s and has been something the cattle industry, partnered with the university, have been presenting to try and improve the final product that we provide to our consumers. Every 3 years, ranchers need to be recertified to keep their certification. When the program first started, they used to get a premium for any livestock that they sold if they had gone through the certification process. Now it's expected to be a normal part of their operation and there's no premium given. So everyone that shows up today and at any of the quality assurance programs we have up and down the state are doing it to make sure that they're ensuring a quality product they're providing for their consumers. So the program probably started in the early 90s mainly to try and educate the cattlemen who are producing the calves that are leaving the ranch, making sure that they're properly being handled. One of the big things we were having, especially back in the early 90s, we were seeing a lot of that the consumers never saw was whenever we vaccinated our livestock to make sure that they're healthy, we may not have been using exactly the proper techniques, the correct methods. So we started educating our ranchers on the proper ways that they can give a shot. To reduce any damage to the muscle, which is essentially the meat that essentially will eventually become someone's dinner. People have adapted that very easily and made the minor changes they had to make sure that they weren't damaging the product. That was pretty much the driving force of starting it. Since then, we've been continuing to make improvements and looking at, for example, bruises. How livestock are moved through the facility could potentially bruise the meat that eventually we want someone to have for dinner. So keeping in mind how you handle them, how the facilities are built, making sure that the livestock have enough room to go around a corner without having to hit their shoulder as they go through so they don't have a bruise in the final product. Simple things like that people can do to try and reduce any injury when they're handling them that they can do has been sort of continue the process. The current audit that we just finished in 2011, we're going to hear some results of today. They have 3 pillars of strength. One of them, again, is continuing with the good quality that we have been providing our consumers, not only just with reducing any damage that might occur to the meat, but handling properly, using proper vaccinations, if an animal does get sick, using the proper medication to make sure that we are providing a healthy animal and not having any issues in the meat afterwards. As well as the second pillar of strength was talking about we need to communicate better within the different segments of the beef industry, the cow-calf guy versus the feedlot versus the stocker versus the slaughterhouse, the packing plants, the arbitrage, making sure that we communicate better within our different segments of the industry. The final pillar of strength was that cattlemen need to start telling their stories to our consumers, letting them know that we are making sure that we are producing a good quality product for them for their dinners, that we're taking every step we can to make sure that we are ensuring the safest product for them as well as the safest products for our own families, because ultimately most of these guys in here, they're not going to Safeway or Costco or Raley's or buying their product. Their dinner is coming from their own ranch, so they're providing a safe product for their family as well as for other families, their final consumers.
I'm John Maas. I'm a veterinarian, UC Davis graduate. I've got an additional degree in microbiology, and I'm also board certified in internal medicine and nutrition, which means I basically couldn't find my way off of campus, and so I just kept going to school and learning stuff. But I'm also a rancher, and as such, that's why I'm so interested in beef quality assurance and have been for a long time. The essence of beef quality assurance came from the industry when we recognized back in the 80s that we had some quality issues. I had a number of quality issues, but we started working on them one at a time, and the beef quality assurance program now is everything from food safety, which is microbial safety, make sure we don't have any violative residues of various drugs that we give our animals to make sure they're healthy and well. Make sure we don't have any of those kinds of residues. It also has to do with environmental stewardship, the way we handle the cattle in science-based, humane methods, and a whole host of other things that just go into the total quality of raising beef and providing beef to the consumer so that it's safe and it comes from sustainable operations, both environmentally sustainable as well as economically sustainable.
Perfect. So today, some of these ranchers, this is a free event unless you need certification. What does that certification mean to the rancher to have that certification?
Actually, the certification program has kind of gotten to be the standard. Instead of, it started out as kind of the exceptional ranchers were interested in certification. Now it's the standard, and the certification requirements have been upped tremendously. They have to recertify every 3 years. They can do it in meetings like this where they get free donuts, or they can go online and recertify in that manner. So there's a host of options to them. I prefer the free donut method, but other people would rather go online and do it in the evenings or in the mornings. Certification says that you understand and adhere to the methods that promote safe, wholesome, well cared for animals that go into the beef supply.
My name is Stevie Ipsen, and I'm here in Oakdale today representing the California Cattlemen's Association. We work on legislative and regulatory affairs in Sacramento, but in addition to that, we also work to educate producers on the product that they raise for American consumers and consumers around the globe. They requested that we come to Oakdale today to teach them a program on beef quality assurance, just some different trends in the industry, things that we do great, and areas where we can improve. We all know that beef producers raise a great product that people want to feel good about eating, and it's all about working together to ensure that we are raising the best product possible to keep as many American families eating beef as possible. We have Dr. Maas here today who's teaching us about beef quality assurance, and as well as Dr. Jim Olchin from UC Davis, who both have an extensive background in beef quality assurance and are sharing with producers the ways that we can make the beef industry better and things that are already great about the beef industry. Americans feel good about eating beef, they love eating beef, and we just want to ensure that we can keep ranchers in business so that they can keep doing what they love.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about how the data that you presented today is compiled.
Sure. I talked about the National Beef Quality Audit today, and that is an audit of all beef industry sectors from the cow-calf producer all the way up to the retailer. And it talks about how those industries work together and how those different sectors can work together to keep consumers eating beef and to show consumers the quality of the beef that they are eating. That audit analyzes everything from how calves are raised to how feedlot steers are fed, and to the carcasses that are graded in the coolers, and to the beef that is on the shelf that consumers buy. And it just shows the beef producers the shortfalls that we may have in the industry, or the things that we're doing great, things that we need to do better, basically where we've been and where we need to go to keep the beef industry as strong as it has been for generations.
Okay, so with that data, how important is the information for the concerns of the producer versus the concerns of the consumer of the product?
Mm-hmm. Beef producers know the quality that they put into raising their animals, the quality work that they put in, the dedication they put in. Beef producers are in this business because they love animals. They are in this business because they love Mother Nature, they love the great outdoors, and consumers love to eat quality beef. And so by the two of them working hand in hand to continuing to drive the beef industry forward, that's what these beef quality assurance programs do.
Okay. One of the top concerns I think you mentioned, and I think you had 5, but one of the top concerns that you mentioned was animal welfare, and the way the animals are raised, and also knowing the consumer wanting to know where the animal came from, and how it was raised. Is that a trend that, how do you think, why do you think that trend is developing in the consumer?
Sure. Only 2% of Americans are actually involved in food production. That leaves 98% of the public that has very little to do with agriculture, especially animal agriculture. And because not a lot is known from the consumer's end, we have to do a great job of telling our story and telling the consumer what we do, where we come from, why we love what we do, and help them feel good about eating our product. A lot of consumers are concerned today with natural and organic and different niche markets like that, where animals are raised, and a traceability factor. Those are things that our consumers are also knowledgeable on and also are concerned about. All beef is good beef, and we're excited to promote that product. We want consumers to feel good about eating that product. And by attending programs like these, consumers can improve their practices and improve their storytelling capabilities so that they can tell the consumer what they do and why they're proud of what they do, why the consumer should feel good about eating that product as well.